There are a lot of common beliefs in Farming Simulator 25, some of them are true, but a lot of them not so much. Today we're busting 5 gameplay myths that a lot of players often get wrong, so let's dive in. So myth number 1, high horsepower tractors will get the work done faster, and at first glance this seems to be true and sometimes it does make sense. On large fields, pulling a 9RX with a wide cultivator does make sense as well. But here's the catch, every implement in FS25 has a working speed limit, usually around 9 miles per hour for cultivators. This means your 400 horsepower beast is still crawling at the same speed as a 150 horsepower train wreck. If you split a field between 4 tractors and 4 small cultivators, you'll get the job done just as fast and you'll save a chunk of change on purchasing as well. Because 5 tractors with 200 horsepower and 5 cultivators cost me £415,000. Just having a 9RX with the biggest cultivator costs £710,000, so there's a massive difference between those two. This brings me over to myth number 2, newer tractors perform better than older tractors. Not in FS25. Bear in mind that Farming Simulator, the performance is based on horsepower and maintenance, and it's not by the year it was made. If you bought a 1948 Deering, you will still have it technically brand new, as if you were in 1948, and it will just run as efficiently as a 2023 Massey Ferguson. Wear and tear happens at the same rate as well, unless you're using a mod with different lifespans. Age is just a number in Farming Simulator. And then myth number 3, you shouldn't do animals in your first year, you should always do them as a mid to late game thing, and that is totally false. Starting with animals can be one of your best early game strategies, especially if you've done wheat as your initial harvest, because they pair perfectly with chickens. Wheat is not as valuable as eggs, and chickens will produce a lot of eggs. And then there's also sheep, which are easier than ever now. Since they can graze grass without you having to cut it first, they are a no-brainer because wool is a very high value commodity. Cows may seem like a bigger investment, but 1 hectare of grass can actually cover quite a significant amount of cows. Just rotate between hay and silage because that's all you need for TMR. You don't need a giant budget to do these either. Lease what you can and sell what you do not need, and let the animals start making the money for you early. And myth number 4, stones do not matter, which is a lot of things that people say, and they could not be more wrong. You might not notice a broken plough blade when you're going over your stones, but they will increase your maintenance bills every single year if you continue to ignore them. Large stones will damage your equipment, but here's some things that you can do with the stones. You can turn them into lime to boost your yield, and it will reduce the cost of actually purchasing lime. You can actually store them for a later point and turn them into cement, which sells for a solid profit. Don't sell them as stones because the prices are way too low. Dump them in a corner of your farm and wait until you can afford to buy the production points. They will pay off eventually. And then finally, myth number 5, people often say rolling and mulching are not worth the effort or the money. And yes, the tools can be pricey, and yes, 2.5% yield bonuses are not the biggest of margins. But let's do some maths. On a 100,000 litre harvest, a 5% increase would be an extra 5,000 litres, just from rolling and mulching. That's money you'd either earn or leave behind, and I'd much rather earn that money. And plus, the implements are usually wide, so the jobs don't take a significant amount of time. So if you can afford to buy the tools, absolutely do it. Every percent counts. So what myths have you heard in Farming Simulator 25? Let me know in the comments and I might bust a few more in the next episode. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Happy farming, everybody.